I think it's possible to do in Singapore. It's just you have to give up certain luxuries like public transport.
Wait, public transport is a luxury? Hey guys, we hope you're loving our weekly newsletter so far, and in our continued effort to improve and create better products for you guys, we are collaborating with Books Beyond Borders, which is a second-hand online bookstore that sells donated books to fund social causes they believe in. We love it and we want to be part of that. Every week you will see a book recommendation by them on our newsletter, and these books are on a first-come, first-served basis. Usually there's only 1 or 2 copies donated once. So if you want to be the first to know what new interesting books they have, head over to thefinancialcoconut.com to sign up for a weekly newsletter now. Good day, guys. Have you ever wondered, can you ever live a life on free? Like in Singapore, the most expensive city in the world, can you live without spending anything at all? Not like spending a little bit, but like nothing, right? Today, our guest has led a movement known as the Freegan movement, and I wonder how free can Singapore be? He has done his runs for sure, right? Getting well over the years and steadily reducing his ongoing expenses. So I would like him to share with us his way of life and explore a different view of money. So let's welcome Mr. Daniel Tay.
Hi everyone, I'm happy to be here to share what I know.
So yeah, you were saying about ending your business.
Yeah.
That was the main cause of your money worries.
Yes, so I used to run a business. I ran a fee-based financial planning agency. I ran the business with a partner for about 1.5 years before the partnership failed. Back then, I had to do either pivot or close down the business. I did a review of my business finances. I found that 80% of my money worries came from the business. So if I stopped doing business, I would overnight eliminate 80% of my money worries. So I was going through some difficult stuff back then. So I decided to, I'll just take a break. I'll leave myself a safety net to come back to the business if I wanted to in future in a different form. But I'll just take a break first. Based on my personal finances, I could last 2 years without income. So I decided to just do that and spend the 2 years trying to figure out how I can live in Singapore without using any money at all. Didn't really exactly succeed in doing it, but I did manage to reduce expenses quite drastically. I think it's possible to do in Singapore. It's just you have to give up certain luxuries like public transport.
Wait, public transport is a luxury?
If you want to live completely without money, you won't be
yes,
paying
true.
for that, right?
Context, guys.
Yeah.
We're talking about living free, right? Okay. So public
Yeah.
transport. Woohoo! Public transport is a luxury.
Yeah,
yes.
you want to give up stuff like water and electricity on demand. I mean, you can get it. It's just more inconvenient. If you stay in HDB flat and your town council services and all that, you wouldn't be able to use money to pay for those lah. Although there are still other ways that other people do it. So anyway, I decided, you know what, I don't want to inconvenience myself so much. So I decided to just continue paying for these things. I don't buy physical things, but I do buy services. So healthcare, transport, legal, financial, medical services, I still pay for them. But physical things, mostly I can get it for free because other people don't want certain things, and there are a lot of other people, so I have a lot other people's things that I can choose from.
Like that portable cooking thing that you picked up.
At your void deck, yes. I was waiting for the lift and I saw this uncle was beside me looking at some stuff at the bin. So I also went to look. Hey, this is a portable gas stove. I can totally use this.
Damn, I could so use it like camping and stuff, right?
So what happened was a friend of mine. She got a portable gas stove, and then we needed the gas. I was like, I don't want to buy the gas. So I decided to just leave it there for like 3 months, and then after that she tells me, can you go and get the gas because we want to test out whether the stove works or not. So after 3 months I hadn't gotten the gas, so I wasn't actively looking anyway. So I reluctantly went over to Potong Pasir, bought I think $5 or $6 for 3 cans of gas. Went back, tested out, it works. The very same week, 2 to 3 days later, I walked past a bin. I found 5 cans of gas, brand new, same brand.
It's a sign.
Yeah, it's a sign.
It's
It's
a
a sign. I should have
sign.
waited longer.
Yeah, you should wait a long. You should have stuck with your ideology.
This is freaking life. Whenever you give up and buy something, right, you will find it within the next few days.
that, that's really really cool. So, you actually don't live free per se. You still pay your services, things that you find essential.
Yes, I pay for services. I rarely ever buy things.
Mm.
Currently, during this pandemic, I'm supporting a local business, a mini mart. So once a week, I'll buy some groceries from there.
Okay.
But that is, yeah, that's I think what I pay for. Yeah.
Okay. So do you mind sharing with us like how much do you actually spend a month?
$450,
$450.
including insurance.
How does that look like? Like what's the breakdown? If you don't mind.
About 60 to 70 on EasyLink top ups. About 30 on mobile bill. About 50 to 70 on utilities and the groceries. What else do I have? Buffer of 50. I still do contribute self-employed MediSave contributions, which actually qualified me for CERS.
Oh, so you got the CERS?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
What else?
One year of CERS can allow you to live 2 years,
Thereabouts.
right? Because you
Yeah.
spend barely,
Yeah.
50% of that.
Correct.
Ah.
I'm in the what do you call it, lowest 20% of income earners in Singapore, I guess you can say. Yeah. Okay. Other bills are annual, like annual insurance premiums, annual IT services like Dropbox, for example. I still keep that.
Fundamentally, I think what we are trying to understand, or what is what I'm trying to, because I was very amazed when I found out that like there's someone like this, like yourself, that actually go the extra mile to live free
Yeah.
in some ways, right? And I think there's always a give and take, right? It's something that we're trying to.
Yes, there's a give and take. It's fun. What you give up on is you give up on convenience because, is it what? Money is, you use money to get stuff. What you're actually really paying for is the convenience. There are many ways to get stuff that you for free, but not so convenient ways lah. Not so convenient doesn't mean that you have to go spend extra hours to get it, because you also have to spend hours to go and buy stuff. Inconvenience in the sense that you receive too much stuff, and you don't want to throw it away because other people can use it. The inconvenient thing is like you just want one, but you end up with 10, so you have to find a way to give away the remaining 9. Like you want one power bank, you got 4. You want one mobile phone, you get 4. So it's like
Where do you get all these? Where do you get all these stuff?
it's not replicable. So if I can replicate, I can get 4 every month. Then I'll teach you. But if it's only once off,
Okay, it's a
then
one-off.
yeah,
Okay, it's like a
Not
gift in some ways.
a gift in some ways. Yeah.
Okay. So then, on this island of Singapore,
I can tell you the power bank one. The power bank
Okay.
one. There was this point of time I was trying to promote the use of this app in Singapore called Olio, because there are a lot of people trying to misuse my Facebook group to give away free food, and I was like, all the members were like, so many 10 to 15 posts of giveaways every day. Can we do something about it? So we tried many options. I discovered this app called Olio. It's a food sharing app that comes from the UK. So I try to get people to use it. I had a large supply of high quality expired food. So I told everybody, you go on the app, I'll give you a request for the food there. I'll give it to you there. But don't ask for it from me through the Facebook group. So I got people
you're
using
trying to divert
yeah.
everyone out of the
Correct.
group, right? Okay.
And then at that point of time, I actually increased the usage of the app from 2,000 now currently to 55,000. But anyway, that's another story. I wanted a power bank then, so I put on my post in the app, says like, you can come and collect this food. If you happen to have a power bank, a spare power bank, just let me know, and that's how I ended up with power banks. It's like this guy said, hey, I got 2 power banks, I'm not using them, would you like to have them? Yeah, of course, sure.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, can I have one? So, next time you got extra, you remember me. Yeah, but so on on the topic of living on free, right? Like you definitely started somewhere, right? Like what you just said about like your money worries, and you realize that most of your money worries were because of business, right? But business aside, there's the personal element of how you spend, right?
Right.
And just give us some idea, like, because I think for many people that are listening, it's like, what the hell is this even possible, right? So what are some of the first few things that you've decided to let go?
I wouldn't say it was something I came up with on my own.
Okay.
I had a frequent mentor back then, and he guided me.
Was he
So,
free?
huh?
Was he free?
The free guidance?
Lah.
Yeah. I didn't have to pay for the service.
These days everything also charged, right? Every
Yeah.
mentor, everything also charged. But anyway,
Yeah.
okay, yes.
Yeah. So he really helped. But for whatever reason, we're not in contact anymore. Anyway, so he told me that the first thing you need to so first problem to solve is you need to get free food, because food is something you eat every day, and if you can get free food all the time, you automatically save for $400 a month, which is like almost 5,000 a year already. So that's the biggest thing. So he told me to go and ask my neighbors for the food that they are not eating, and that it's edible, but they're not eating it, they throw away. And I was like, got such thing, man? Because my own household, we've mostly finished all the food that we have. Expired food, not expired food, all just eat lah. But neighbors, so I went to talk. First, I went to talk to this auntie. She's this elderly, low income auntie that stayed next to me, and she receives food twice a day from charity. So I was on a fairly good terms with her. So I went to ask her and ask. I was very paiseh to tell her that I want her food lah. As I said, I'm doing a project on food waste.
Everything also use project, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
door knock also. Oh, we're from the school. We're using a project.
It's kind of true. I was doing a project on food waste.
Okay.
So I asked her, Auntie, do you have any? Do you often throw away food? And to my surprise, she said, Yeah. I often throw. Every day I throw away some food. And I asked, what kind of food do you throw away? I said, oh, the charity give me lunch and dinner, right? They give me rice, they give me meat, vegetable, fish. But auntie, I got chronic illnesses. I got diabetes lah, I got high blood pressure, I got gout. I cannot eat everything that they give to me. So much rice some more. Then I eat about half of it, then the rest I don't know what to do, so I throw away lor. But very keksim lah. But what to do, I don't know who wants. Then I'm like, auntie, I want lah. Can give to me or not? And I said, oh, you want, you take lah. She had a packet rice there. She take this one, I got enough rice. And I said, I took the packet from her. I was like, I thank you, auntie. Then she said, no, Mr. Teh, you don't thank me. I thank you. You take the rice, I don't have to throw away. I feel don't feel keksim already. I don't feel her heart pain. You take, I happy. So that I said, auntie, since every day you throw away food, can I come every day and take from you? And then she said, Mr. Teh, I don't want to trouble you. You don't have to come to my house every day. Every time I got food, right, I get into my wheelchair, I come to your door, I hang on your door. Then you just take inside and put in your fridge lah. I was like, then that's how I got free food delivery service every day. You open door, there's food hanging out there. Sometimes one packet, sometimes two packet.
What the hell? Okay.
That's one
Uh-huh.
one neighbor.
Uh-huh.
Then because she received food from charity, and
Mm.
charity back then, and that was 3 years ago. It's still kind of similar now.
Yes.
I asked the auntie before, why don't you tell the charity don't give you this kind of food because you cannot eat? Then they say the charity cannot tailor make each order lah.
Yes.
So they just give. Then you have your social worker that give lah, fruits lah, give Milo lah,
Yes.
give sugar, all these things that she cannot consume. So she take and give to me lah.
Ah.
I know she don't know what to do. It's just stuck in the house. Yeah.
Mm.
So
And interestingly, she felt grateful for giving to you. Right?
yes, because she don't have to throw it away, because she's quite elderly, so she grew up in I guess in more scarce times. So she know the value of food and don't want to throw it away lah. But that's what I mean, inconvenience. Like you have so much that you don't know what to do with it. Yeah. Then so that was one neighbor. Another neighbor I talked to, he's a Taoist, so every day he does offering to his ancestors. So they use apples, pears, pineapple, pomelo, whatever lah. Then I asked him, I did the same thing. Ask him, whether you have any food that you often throw away. He's like, no, I don't throw away lah. But sometimes all these fruits that I offer, I will leave it downstairs for the animals to eat lah. Because I offer so much, but me and my wife, we only got two of us, so we cannot finish eating. Do you want not? Yeah, of course lah. Fruits ah. Fruits are, when you're on low budget, fruits are kind of expensive lah.
Yes. Fruits are actually very expensive,
correct.
especially seasonal stuff, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So okay lah, that's how I get pineapple. Regular oranges and apples, occasional pomelos and pineapples.
So you actually eat very healthy lah, in that sense. Even though you don't
yes.
spend anything on food, and
Yeah.
is that still the reality now?
It depends on what you eat. Like if you eat a
Okay.
lot of vegetables and fruits, generally, yes, and vegetables and fruits are among the easiest things to get for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because highly perishable, so
yes,
people need
correct.
to throw it in that
Correct,
sense.
correct. And they're also kind of they're cheap when from a business perspective. Yeah, but the margins are fairly high
Yes.
compared to
yes.
meat even. So,
Yes.
Yeah, businesses don't mind getting more of it, and then whatever they cannot sell, just throw. Yeah.
So that's food, right?
That's
Yeah.
food. And then I started getting the expired food also because normal people, normal consumers, expire, already, pass the date, already, throw. Then go out and buy the exact same thing with a date that's 2 years later. But the food expire doesn't mean cannot eat lah.
Yeah.
Expire means cannot sell, but doesn't mean cannot eat.
Mm.
So even non-expired food sometimes also cannot eat lah. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
must
yeah,
you must do a taste test, a look, smell, taste test, and to determine whether food can be eaten or not lah. So that's how I discovered that lots of people throw away lots of expired food that can still be eaten. So I started collecting all these, and
Yes.
expired food is a bit more unhealthy because a lot of it's processed food. So I was a period of time put on quite a bit of weight because of that. I also started to limit myself and try to eat more healthily lah. Yeah.
So you're not alone on this journey, right? Like you started yourself,
Yeah.
knocking the door of your neighbor.
Yeah.
And then I know somehow it became a thing, right? You had like a whole, entourage of people that share the same belief now.
So I started a Facebook group called Freegan in Singapore, and that's where it was just a group to unite some of to put some of my friends who know that I live this kind of lifestyle. And I just share photos of stuff that I get for free that I find, like this gas stove kind of thing. I would take a photo and put it online. And then after a while, friends started introducing other friends, and then media got involved and the group exploded. So I didn't actually set out to start a whole community or movement. I just wanted a Facebook group to share the photos of stuff that I took to show people that this is real.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like taking photos of the stuff they find, and everyone knows it's real already lah.
It's like possible, right?
It's just not just me. It's not just me in my own HDB neighborhood. Although after going through a few HDB neighborhoods, I would say that I was fortunate to stay in an area where they had particularly good stuff lah. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I live in Malaysia, right? So now that I'm back, this is my observation, right? Is that Singapore really has a lot of very good stuff that people don't want.
Yeah.
Right? We do have a lot of services. I mean, I don't go around taking stuff from downstairs. I mean, probably I should, right? Since we're talking. but just on Carousel alone, right? Carousel, people sell stuff, right? And the quality and the price that you pay for stuff here in Singapore and the stuff that you get in Malaysia is different. Like in Malaysia, people really use something quite chui already. Like no more life already, then they sell that shit.
Correct.
But here you can really get I got my recording equipment for half the price retail. I can get bicycles for really cheap. You can get a lot of stuff because people have so much and they buy so much.
Yep.
Right, and I think that in that sense, that's the beauty of where your life comes in.
But when you think about it, they buy so much. That's a lot of money spent on stuff that they don't really fully use.
Yes.
And when you're talking about spending money, you're spending your time getting that money. You're spending your life away, trying to buy money and use that money to buy stuff that you don't really fully utilize. It's kind of waste lah. A waste of time, a waste of life, a waste of money. Yeah. So if you get stuff for free, then you're not using your time to buy money, and then use the money to buy something, because every transaction you lose value. So why not you just use a few hours of your time to get the stuff for free directly? Cut out the middleman,
You
which
cut
is
out the
money.
middleman, which is making the money.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So do you consider so in that sense, because it's like, I don't know, man, like freeganism is one level, right? But I talk about being frugal quite a bit, right? So I'm curious, like, what are your thoughts about frugality? What is being frugal to you? Because free, is like, one level above, like sensei or frugal, So it's like, what different people see frugality differently. So I'm curious, like, do you believe in it, and how do you see being frugal, be like?
My mentor used to say, there's frugal,
Mm.
then one level higher is cheapskate, and one level higher is freegan. If people call you a cheapskate, you should be insulted because you're not good enough to be called a freegan.
Okay. Cheers to your mentor.
To me, being frugal is
Yeah, you say. Yeah. You are freegan. Okay, I never insult you. You're freegan. Yes, frugal.
to me, frugal is more of mentality, more of lifestyle, a kind of mentality that you don't want things to go to waste. It's not so much about saving money and being thrifty and being cheapskate, or friggin'.
So in
It's
that
about not wasting stuff.
Mm.
It's stuff that has life to it. Make it to use. Put it to use. Either use other people's stuff or your own stuff. Use it until gao, until song, and then really cannot use already. Then you throw away lah. Yeah. Or some people go one step further, upcycle, recycle. But no lah. So yeah, but that's what being frugal really is. And it just so happens that being frugal helps save you money because you don't have to buy something new. You don't have to buy a new shirt when you already have a shirt that works. You don't have to buy a new bag because your bag already works. You don't have to buy you don't have to spend 1,000, 2,006 buying a new handphone when your old handphone still works. It's just a bit slow, a bit laggy, and you just change the battery lah.
So what you just said is frugality is very much a concept, right? It's an idea.
Yeah.
Right. But freeganism is one step further. It's a way of life.
Freeganism is okay. So frugality is more on a personal level. I use the stuff that I have until it's properly utilized. Freeganism is like it's a bit bigger. It's like I use your stuff until cannot be used. Then I will
Okay. So what if one day people stop being, spend, like, just anyhow spend, and everyone becomes frugal, and how are you gonna live, right? Because if others no longer waste, okay, chances are it will never happen. But if others are not gonna waste, then how are you gonna live?
I look at my own lifestyle today. Despite what I do, I still do end up wasting stuff because there's some stuff that I have only. Okay, let me use a specific example. I sprained my ankle a few weeks ago. I need a pair of crutches and a walking boot. I got them for free, of course. And I got them from a friend who used the crutches for something else, and then I said thank you for this. I will return it to you. He said no, you keep it. So I used it for a week or so. Then after that, I'm like, I don't have a use for it anymore. So I passed it on to somebody else who needed it. So what I'm saying is that we all have things that we use only for a bit, for a while, and then we don't need it anymore, and we pass it on. Even you're the most extreme frugal or freegan person, there's just stuff that you don't use all the time. So you just pass it on. That's one thing. Second thing is for stuff that you still use quite often, but not everyday kind of thing, you could have a few of that in a community and you share it. So community life is extremely important for me as a freegan because of the social aspect and because of the stuff that the whole community gets for free. So within the community, you probably have more than enough of everything that you need. You just need to ask and somebody, hey, I want this thing, and you end up with 6 of it. Maybe next time in future I want something, you get 2 of it. So if everybody lives like me, I reckon there will still be some waste. I think waste is going to be extremely hard to eliminate unless you have an upheaval of the economy and turn everything into a circular economy, which is not going to happen in the next 20 years, but we can work towards it.
Hey guys, so yes, I get it. Everyone wants to learn to invest and somehow believe they can be a Warren Buffett. Truth is that will probably never happen, but if we just want to become slightly better investor, making consistent 5 to 10% returns, then Dividend Machine may be something to consider. Dividend Machine is a program by the fifth person, our selected course partner, which focuses on helping you pick dividend-paying stocks to grow a consistent investment income, or some call passive income. On top of that, with us around, you can come back and discuss and ideate with our community. So yes, for more details, check out thefinancialcoconut.com/dividend. Everything is in the link below.
The fact that I can do, and a lot of people in Singapore can do this, means there are problems with the current economy, the current supply chains, current situation. So our lifestyle just tries to take advantage of these loopholes, and if economy somehow manages to change, I'm quite pessimistic about that. But somehow if that changes, I'm sure our mentality of finding loopholes will help us get around that.
Okay, that's interesting. So in that sense, like you big proponent of sustainability, because it sounds like you are.
Well, I originally did this to learn how to save money.
So it's not like this big voo goal, right? It's really from your own way of life.
There are three motivations why people do have this kind of way of life. First thing is they want to save money. Get stuff for free, confirm save money, right?
Confirm save. Don't spend anything, everything free. Save, Jin, save on it.
You know, when on Quora, right, people ask, how can I save money? I said, don't buy things. Simple as that.
And don't need to think too much. Just don't spend.
Yeah,
you save.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Correct. Okay, so save money is the first reason. Second reason why people do this is because they want to help other people. They can they can give money, people can buy things for people, but that's not sustainable because you have to keep working and earn money. But if you get things for free, all you can do is just clean it up, do some simple repairs, and you can give stuff infinitely to people who need it. All right, to help people. Second thing, and third thing is to help save the environment, to reduce waste and all that. When you live this kind of lifestyle, you automatically have to do all three because you don't want to waste, so you end up giving stuff to help people, and because you save stuff from going to the bin, you are reducing waste, helping the environment. So when you do this, you're automatically doing all three. But usually when a person gets into this lifestyle, 50% of us do it because we want to save money, 30% want to do it because we want to help other people, and 20% want to help the environment. This is what I observe in the people in the community.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So for you, the main driver was to save money.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, you realized that, you had a lot of money worries because you were doing a business and you were struggling and it was affecting your life.
Yes, that's part of the reason, but I've always been a kind of a frugal person because of my upbringing with my grandparents.
That's why cheapskate is an insult because you already level up, right?
Yeah. Frugal. I remember I had a grand uncle who would go around pick stuff from the bins and come back and mix. He would invent stuff or make stuff. And I always found that to be quite inspirational. And my other family was like, this uncle he's just like that. He likes to pick up stuff.
Just weird, like quirky guy, right?
Yeah, correct. I turned out to be that guy.
Wrong inspiration from family's viewpoint, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've always been looking for ways to save money, and this was like a challenge for me. It's like, because I was working as a financial planner, right? And I had at a point believed that in order to retire in Singapore, you need a minimum 1,500 to have a basic retirement, maybe one holiday a year kind of thing.
One holiday a year is considered basic, huh?
Yeah.
We've reached that level, right?
Yeah.
It's like, 一年一次 is considered very basic, all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then after that, I discovered this way of life from my mentor, who's 45 years old, spends $100 a month, retired, has everything he wants and needs. And I'm like, this is more than 10 times less than what I had. There's this business coach called Dan Sullivan. He's founder of strategic coach in the US. He's coached some of the best entrepreneurs in the world. Lah. And he has this thing called a 10x multiplier. That means you don't look at multiplying your business 2 times. 2 times you just do more of what you're doing. You do it, you think about how you can multiply your business 10 times. Because the level of thinking required to bring your business to 10 times is different from what you're currently doing. You cannot just do more work. You have to change the way you think, change the way you do business completely. And retiring at more than 10 times less than what normal people can do is like, you got to really change your thinking. And yeah, like my thinking really got changed. Lah. Yeah.
I mean, objectively, when you look at it, if you spend 50% of your income for every year you work, you can live 2 years. All right. So if you only spend 10% of your income for every year you work, you can live 10 years.
Correct.
Right. So objectively, when you bring your expenses to 450 or even that your mentor Xiao Kian, right, to 100, right, then essentially, you can live forever without really needing to do more.
You get people who have saved up $1 million to invest it for say 5%, and you get net them about 50,000 a year for their retirement. That's decent. But how many years you spend working to accumulate that $1 million? How many years are investing? What if you can do the same for $100,000? You work 10 times less. You of course spend 10 times less, about 5% of 100,000 is 5,000, which is sufficient for me.
I get that. So on that note, right, of the way of life, because based on what you just said, I think we all get it that you don't spend a lot, very lean, you've gone through some things to cut down your expenses. How has this whole process and where you are at, not spending a lot, but living in one of the most expensive countries in the world, how do you view life at this point in time?
Wow, this kind of question very cheap. Can you elaborate further?
So essentially, it's like most people, there's a certain narrative, right? There's a certain narrative. You work hard, you retire, and then you invest, blah, 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 right? And then you retire. But you already fast track all the way because you hack the system, right? You essentially go down the other side, which is I don't bother to increase my income. I just cut my expenses to like free, right? Okay, 450, okay? So that's the benchmark. And you end up having a lot of time, right? Because you have a lot of time to think and you have a lot of time to embrace life differently, right? So I just want you to do, share with us like how do you see life at this point in time?
I get you. I went through a crossroads recently. I'm 41 this year, and this 2020, besides dealing with the pandemic, has also been a year for me where I closed certain chapters in my life for good. And being at this crossroads, I had to sit down and think, okay, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? One thing, although I was a financial planner, but one thing I learned that long-term planning doesn't work for me. It works for some people, but for me, I have too many interests. I have too many things that a friend of mine calls it shiny things. Like, you say, shiny, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this. But if you're working, you don't have the time to do it. When you're not working, you do have the time to do it. It's just there's just so many things out there that I want to try. So I wanted to sit down and think, where do I want to take my life? Do I only come up with some kind of overarching philosophy to live my life by? No real plans. I would plan my life 3 months at a time, and that seems to be pretty good. So I decided to sit down and think and ask myself, when I'm 70 years old, when I'm 80 years old, what do I want to be able to say about my life that I've lived? And I would like to be able to tell interesting stories about the life I've lived. And if I want to be able to tell stories, it means I need to have interesting experiences from now until I'm 70. So yeah, that's how I view life now. I want to have interesting experiences. I don't want to accumulate things. I do accumulate things of other people.
Right? Everybody give you.
So I have to learn to say no. I said, no. Can you pass it to somebody else instead? That's what the community is for.
Like if you have an extra power bank, you can pass it to me. Okay.
I can teach you how to get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So So I want to accumulate experiences. Experiences doesn't necessarily mean you have to travel. Travel is one good way to get experiences, but you can have a lot of experiences living in Singapore as well. Learning to be a dumpster diver, I discovered a whole side of Singapore which I never knew existed back at least. Back at least where all the bins are. And there's so much of Singapore, there's so much that goes on in back at least that we don't see, we don't know about. You could get different experiences by taking on different jobs. don't have to work in a job for 10 years, 20 years to get a full experience. You can get more, you can get most of a job's experience in 3 to 6 months, about maybe about 80% of the job experiences, and the other 20% you talk to people who've been there 10, 20 years, and then you learn from that. And that's another way to get experiences. And with the different experiences that you get, your mindset changes, your perspective change, you become more empathetic, you become more open-minded, you become, like that also can. Yeah. Oh, like that also can. Then you learn all these little loopholes that people have been doing, and whatever's useful for you, just take and use. And whatever's not useful, that makes an interesting story. So, actually, since the start of Circuit Breaker, I've been doing this daily Facebook post called COVID Chronicles. It kind of like chronicles my daily life in this COVID pandemic. I thought it would be a nice way to document this period in time. And then since I put on Facebook almost every day, a year from now, Facebook's like 1 year ago you were doing this, yeah. So it will kind of like tell me how things have changed in 1 year lah. Yeah. So that's currently. I do write books, so previously as a hobby, still as a hobby. But last time I had to sell books to earn money. Now I don't. I can just write books because I like to write. Yeah, I don't have to worry about the income side. If it gives me a bit of pocket money, that's good. If it's not, then okay lor.
It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's life lah. Moving forward, of course, it's subject to change. One thing I've learned about my life is that it's unpredictable. There are things that happen that you could never predict for. Things that you couldn't even imagine. So if you plan your life and you try to follow the plan too strictly, you're gonna cut yourself off from a lot of opportunities, a lot of experiences that you would never have imagined possible lah. So I like to keep things a bit open. That's why I only plan about once every 3 months, and where do I want to be 3 months from now.
Mm.
And the plan is not so much about I need to achieve these things, but it gives me a direction. But if something else more interesting comes along, like
The next shiny object.
getting interviewed for a financial literacy podcast, then okay, this wasn't planned, but okay, sounds interesting. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Very nice.
welcome.
Yeah. So based on what you're saying, right? Like planning every 3 months and experiencing different facets of life that you never had prior, if you kind of follow the narrative. Right? The
Yeah.
narrative is, study what everybody knows the narrative, huh?
Yeah.
So in that sense, then it debunks the idea of long-term planning. Because your way of
Yes.
life is not very long-term planning, right? You have a general arc that you're trying to do, but I'm talking about long-term financial planning, right? So then it challenges your notion. It challenges, the whole idea of planning your finances long-term.
Yes and no. I think when you do financial planning, one of the most important things that people forget is that you got to review your plan from time to time. As and when your lifestyle changes, your income, your expense level changes as well. So, you need to adapt your plan. You need to make modifications, changes. Planning is not you plan one time, set in stone, and it will roll out. Financial plans don't work that way, and neither is life. That's something I learned about financial planning.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you got to be able to, okay, this plan doesn't work for me, scrap it. Let's make a new one. And for what I went through was a life phase transitioning from running a business to early retirement. It was supposed to happen 20 years later, but just bring it forward. And so in the sense that aspect of financial planning still works. It's just that it's earlier, and because normally when people retire in their 60s, for example, they need to plan maybe 20-30 years of retirement. They need to make sure that their assets can last that long through investment or otherwise. When you retire at 40, your assets need to last 40-50 years.
Yes.
So same principles. How do you invest it? How do you invest it strategically to make sure it lasts that long? Same principles apply. You just have different numbers to work with. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so for someone that is starting out, right, like just starting to get their job and just entering the workforce and partaking in the financial narrative that
Okay.
everyone has.
Okay.
From your optics, right? Like maybe not everybody wants to be a freegan, right? But
All right.
from what you've gone through, what is some of the advice that you can give these people? when they're trying to, live their life.
Don't settle for being a cheapskate.
We're back to the cheapskate.
Yeah, not everybody wants to be a freegan. Some just want to be cheapskates. Okay. I think the number one trap that people fall into, especially in Singapore, is lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. For those who are not familiar with this, it would be keeping up with the Joneses. And for those who are not familiar with this, okay, let's say you start work with your entry level job. You every day eat cai peng lah, or whatever.
You
Simple
all go to
meals,
Cai
right?
Peng, all the
Yeah.
executive are very young, new Cai Peng people.
Cai peng economy are supposed to be cheap. Not everywhere cheap lah, but sometimes cheap lah. It's simple meal lah. And then later on, when your salary increase, right, it's like I don't feel like eating cai peng every day. But I want to eat at a cafe, restaurant. So you end up spending more, and not just in terms of food, but every area in your life. You don't want to use a cheap Android phone. I want the high-end Samsung, or you want a high-end iPhone. I don't want to use my hand-me-down from my parent or my cousin anymore. I just want to buy a brand new phone. You do all this because you want to feel good about yourself. Once in a while it's okay, but every year you need to buy a new handphone. It becomes a lifestyle, right? This is lifestyle creep. You earn more money, you think that you deserve to spend more money, and over time this becomes a lifestyle. You don't want to take bus to work anymore. You'll squeeze an MRT, you take Grab instead. Oh, that's addiction by itself. Yeah, it's a lifestyle thing. It's a lifestyle choice at first, but there's a saying that luxury once enjoyed becomes a necessity.
Yes.
Yeah, so after a while, when all these lifestyle choices become necessities for you, it becomes very hard to let go. And then, boom, you're trapped. You need to earn money to fund your lifestyle. And the little bit that you can save after that goes towards your retirement. And that's why people get trapped working for decades just to earn enough money to retire. It's not just about that. It's also funding their current lifestyle and their future lifestyle. So if you never fall into this trap, you never end up taking Grab everywhere. You never end up eating more than cai peng. But no, you never really end up going for those hipster cafes and buy bubble tea and Starbucks or whatever. Just kopitiam coffee can already lah. Or even you go to Fragrance Star, you dumpster dive a packet of coffee.
And
You
you
bring
make
your
your own,
own.
bring around.
You bring your own bottle. You go to office pantry, use the hot water, power your own coffee. Free. I do that at work. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely the most important thing. Don't fall into lifestyle trap, lifestyle creep, lifestyle inflation. Track your expenses. See what you're spending on. Try to get free where possible lah. The number one rule is lifestyle. Maintain your lifestyle. Maintain your basic lifestyle. If it was good enough for you when you first started out, why is it not good for you enough for you now?
And in a short period of time, suddenly you become very rich, right? Like,
Yeah,
honestly, that's what I experienced lah.
You can be like Keith from Investment Modes. Started out spending 300 a month, still spends 300 a month 10, 15 years later after working.
Yeah.
Some people can do it.
Yeah, and easily you end up living, you how do I put it this way? It's like, as long as you are able to keep up to a certain lifestyle, and you don't participate in this inflation process, somehow inevitably you become very wealthy.
Yeah,
Right.
and you don't have to worry about inflation. Inflation, what, 5%, 4%?
Ain't no
Tell you what,
matter.
5% or 4% or zero is still zero.
That's true. And also when I was traveling in Japan, I tried very hard to talk to the Japanese lah. I mean, you get the idea, right?
Okay.
They cannot speak English, very jialat, but they tried very hard, right? So we were chatting, and what I found out was most of them actually cook and pack,
Yeah.
lunch
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah.
And actually, if you think about it, it's amazing.
It saves a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's very nice, very tasty. You get to control every single thing that goes into your lunch.
But
right?
the difficult part is the convenience. Remember, money buys you convenience. If you can, and in Singapore we're all like very stressed, got fast-paced living. We live off convenience because it saves us time. It saves us a few minutes here, a few minutes there. But in order to buy that convenience, we need money, and which costs us years of our life. Penny wise, pound foolish.
Fair.
You wanna?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Fair. I totally get that. And yeah, so essentially your central belief is you go free, you can lean down everything and you can just kind of shorten your whole journey.
Yeah, go big or go home.
Go big and go home and go free or go cheapskate. So never go cheapskate.
No,
Only go
cheapskate.
free. All right. So for everyone that's listening and they want to emulate your life, right? Let's say they really want to be like you, what is the first thing they should do?
I'll give you the three projects that my mentor gave me. Firstly, find a way to get food for free every day.
Which you elaborated.
You can get from neighbors, but there are other sources as well. I won't go through the details here, but free food is number one. That will save you like, what's your budget of food now? 400 or 500 a
Above
month?
that,
Yeah,
yes.
around there. It'll save you quite a lot of money, and it gives you the kind of leeway in your budget that you may not already have. But of course, don't give that $400-500 to a roadshow insurance. Hey, you want to save 500, 400, 500 a month?
That's a whole big topic on its own. That's a whole big topic.
Okay,
yes.
so, but yeah, the extra 400, 500 a month lets you channel it to other places that you've always needed a bit more money for. A bit of upskilling, a bit of maybe pay for giving a bit more to your parents or something, or just simply save. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, what I do, and there's a whole different spectrum. What I do is I walk around HDB void decks and pick up stuff. I used to do this every day, 9 to 10 p.m. as a form of exercise. It's very good exercise, and you get lots of free things. Nowadays, I don't do it because I don't stay in a good HDB area anymore. So, but as and when I do come to friend's house, I look at the void deck and I pick up stuff, good stuff.
Like the cooking thing?
Yeah, correct. So, you can still pick up a lot of stuff. Like it doesn't have to be out your way. It's like from the bus stop to your home, just detour, look at a few void decks, a few bins, see what people throw away, and you can just take that. And all these little things count, because stuff that you find useful and you will use means that you don't have to spend money to buy it. It can amount to quite a lot. For me, as a freegan, it basically covers all my other expenses that you ordinary people buy. Clothes, shoes, bags, laptop bags, power banks, whatever. Everything that you buy, every physical thing that you buy, I get for free. And that amounts to maybe another 500 a month or so. You spend a lot more. You don't think you spend a lot more. You go Daiso and then you see how much you spend. Yeah, all those little things. Everything $2. Like, how did I end up spending $50? Yeah. So all the little things count. So that's number two. Number three, you don't have to do this, but there are people doing this. So what they do is they go to the back of businesses after they close, and they collect the stuff that they throw away. Nowadays we're a bit higher level now. We go right to the front of the business. I talk to the boss and say, hey boss, you're throwing all this thing after you cannot sell, right? It's like that, waste food lah. Why not you give to me, and then I can make sure it goes to people that who can use it lah. You ask 10 businesses, 9 will say no, but one who says yes will give you food every day for 20 people. Then you cannot eat it yourself lah. So you share it with people. You tell people, hey, you can tell your neighbors, you can tell your friends, I got this food. Would you like to come and take? The business cannot finish selling, and then that's how you form a community around. When you have a regular supply of free stuff that other people want, a community forms around you because they all want free stuff. And the communities, typically people in the communities will be very inspired by how generous you are, how giving you are. You're not really generous. They are helping you. You're not helping them, right? They are helping you, right? Because if not, otherwise all the stuff go to waste. See, this is the whole thing. Yeah. Then the whole community will be very inspired with that, and then somebody will tell you, hey, I got this thing. I don't know who want. Maybe you can help. Find somebody who wants it lah. So in Freegan Living we have this chain. The one who rescues the item gets first pick, or whatever. Usually they end up taking the best of whatever one. Whatever else goes on to the next person, and the next, and the next, and the next. So the person who does the rescuing, the person who does the packing or sorting or cleaning or organizing or giving gets the next pick, and so on and so forth. So it pays to be a rescuer because you get the best stuff. But you can also not be a rescuer and just be what we call a consumer. Consumers are very important because without consumers, we have too much stuff. Yeah. So you can just be a consumer in a community and perform your consumption service to help reduce waste.
This is so cool. It sounds like a whole pack, and there's like a packing order and this whole thing, right? So, thanks for coming on. We definitely learned a lot from you. And if our listeners want to get to know you better and get to know your movement better, where can they find you?
Okay, you can. Where can you on Instagram? I'm at Freegan in Singapore. On Facebook, you can search for my name. If you Google my name and you take out the Bakerzin guy, you can find my name on page one of Google lah.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook. You can email me. You can find my blog. You can contact me that way. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming on the show, Daniel. We will hope to see you around again. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, I hope you learned something useful today and truly appreciate that you took time off to better your life with the Financial Coconut. Knowledge is that much more powerful and interesting when shared, debated, and discussed. I hope you would share with your gaining people you love, and I want to hear from you. Give me some questions and help me along with building a community of financially savvy coconuts. I hope together we can fulfill our curious minds and our desire for clarity. Join our community Telegram group, reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, sign up for our weekly newsletter. Everything is in the description below. If you enjoy the podcast and feel you want to keep us growing and stay independent, do buy us Kofi at Kofi.com. With that, have a great day ahead. Stay tuned next week, and always remember, personal finance can be chill, clear, and sustainable for all. Okay, so I hope you guys learn something, have fun with Daniel. It was really fun because very different perspective. Usually people talk about cost cutting, talk about reducing expenses, and all those are good stuff. But this guy goes like all the way, the extra mile. Like if you follow him on Facebook, right, you will see that during this 7 month, he really go and collect a lot of food, and all those kind of stuff. So kudos to him, cool stuff. But yeah, everybody have their own life choices. You decide how you want to live your life. But I think what we are trying to do is really to give you perspectives, and then you get better. You make better and more informed decisions, and that's something that we really believe in. Here at TFC. And next week we're gonna talk about similar to this, right? Because you realize that there are a lot of personal finance forums out there today, right? Big and small, right? I'll not name names, but you already know who is who, huh? And we look at these forums also, and we find that there are some major problems in the forums. Not in the sense that the guys that are doing the forums have issues, but more like because a forum is an open platform, everyone can talk. Right, so there are all sorts of weird things that are going on in the forum. And next week, we're going to talk about some of these things, right? I'm going to point out some of these observations that we have that we find we are very bothered by. And I mean a few of us, within the creative team and, some of these guys that are more, active in our community, that they DM me and they talk about it. And, some of them have some thoughts about what's going on in a lot of these forums. So next week, we're going to spend some time. I'm going to share with you some observations that we have that we feel that you should be, aware of, when you're visiting this forum. It doesn't mean that they're funneling stuff that's not good, but it's just that understanding and being, aware of these views will, serve you better in, sussing out and searching for information. So, see ya next week.